Talk with Carl and Charlene. Real talk for the real world. Let's get it.
Good morning, everybody. We're having some technical difficulties, but guys, for showing up this morning, we appreciate you. We gotta do this over here. All right. Can you guys hear me? I am still having an echo,
Bit echoey.
and let's see how this is going to be. All right. Thank you guys for joining us this morning. We have a little technical difficulties, but the show must go on. And I know that we're running behind time a little bit here. But okay, what happened? Okay, now what happened? There we go. There we go. No, I
There
am
you
not Charlene Brown, the
go.
Brand Misfit. I am not Charlene, but we're trying to get it on this morning. We appreciate you guys hanging in there with us this morning. We have some technical difficulties, and that's what we do. That's what happens. That's what it is. That's what it is. But we wanted to get the show started this morning. So if you're just tuning in, no, I'm not Charlene, but we doing the show and we're moving forward. It is storming on the East Coast. So if you're not on the East Coast, this is the reason I'm here. But while we are here, we want to thank everybody who has shown up this morning. We appreciate y'all, even with the lateness of the hour. We appreciate you all tuning in, checking us out live. Also, thank those who are going to be tuning in later and see this whole thing on hashtag replay. Yes, go through the first couple minutes. Yes, it's going to look spotty. It's going to look whatever it is. But hey, that's what it is, right? All of this is running off of Wi-Fi. All of this is running off of the connections, and it is what it is. But we got a guest today, and you all already see her. I mostly kind of like pop people in, right? But you already see her today, and we're going to be talking about something that is really, I think some of us, just about all of us, probably at some point in place in our lives have touched on this, have been a part of this, have had it affect us, and maybe we didn't know what it was. Maybe we didn't understand to the detriment of what it was causing. Maybe it causes sickness, it causes anxiety, it causes a lot of things, and the cares of life and working and stress and family. All of those are culprits to the symptoms of what we're going to be talking about today. But we're talking to an expert. And I love having experts, the subject matter experts on. We're going to be talking to Dr. Nupa today, and we're going to be talking about that burnout. And we're going to dive into it. We're going to get to know about it. How do we spot it? What's some of the ways that we can work out of it? What are some of the ways that we just maybe not embrace the title of the burnout, but embrace the symptoms and see how we can overcome them? Because I know it's something that we've all has had a hand in our lives. And like I said before, we probably just wasn't really sure what it was that was going on, and we really wanted to get some answers. Well, today you're going to get some answers because we're going to talk about a little bit. Thank you, Dr. Nupa, for joining in with us this morning. Let the people know who you are, Doctor.
Oh, thank you so much, Carl, for having me on. Seriously, this is just cool. It's amazing. So I'm Dr. Nupi. I'm a GP, general practitioner, family physician in the UK, and I've been a doctor for 24 years. And burnout is something it's very close to my heart, having been through burnout myself. Was 12ish, something like that, years ago now. And it is just hideous. It's horrible. And it's, I think that's why I'm so keen to share what I have learned through my burnout and how it felt for me. And everybody's unique to themselves, but just by sharing stories and by raising that awareness, and just really encourage anybody who might be thinking, oh my gosh, is this burnout, is it not, just to speak up and get some help, and just don't ignore it. It's so important, it really is.
Yeah, when you're thinking about that, when you're thinking about the burnout and the different, uh, how do you kind of like know that, or even if you know that that's what it is?
Mm,
Because I think a lot of us may be suffering that, and the term mostly is suffering in silence because we maybe don't
yeah.
want to share some of the things that we're going through. Maybe we don't.
Mm,
we don't feel like, and I deal with this a lot in talking with people in reference to their vulnerability and being able to share some of the things that
Yeah.
they may be taking on or they're dealing with, and
Mm.
not having an ability to really trust and tell people that. How do you deal with the clients that you have and the patients that you have, where you can have them open up and kind of say, yo, these are some of the symptoms I'm having.
Mm.
What's going on with me, doc?
Yeah, it's really difficult because very often, as is the case, it creeps up on you. It's not like it's that it can be very insidious, and it's something that develops over time. And if you look at the classical definition of burnout, it's this utter physical, emotional, psychological exhaustion where no amount of rest or sleep fixes it or rights this fatigue. And it's essentially chronic, it's persistence of a chronic, prolonged stress, overwhelm, and also the stressful environment. So sometimes you can kind of think, oh, I'm just tired, or oh, maybe I'm due my holiday and I've not had a break yet. Is it that? But it's more than just that. I need my break, holiday. It's the type of fatigue, and it's also the overwhelm, what you start feeling in yourself. You might notice that your sleep's gone off, you're not sleeping as well, or you're waking up frequently, or you're feeling very anxious. And the things that would normally bring you joy, and the things normally that you would love doing, all of a sudden this is just it anymore. You just feel completely drained. And it's usually the physical symptoms. So not necessarily, oh, I'm feeling tired, I'm so exhausted. It'll be the body's response, which is the immune system being so shot to pieces that you're constantly ill, or you're having some colds, or your stomach's not right for a long period of time. And for me, it was really, really poor sleep. Oh, and also the headaches and the general aches and pains. That was one of the main things I noticed for a long time, actually. And I thought, gosh, my body's been talking to me for ages and I've not paid attention to it.
Yeah, it's the essence of what we don't really realize, and how. And I know I saw some you show, and congratulations on being a live streamer. First and foremost, joining the club of creators. How is that going with you, and where did you come
Uh,
up with this name, the glitter? Um, oh, okay. What happened? I was talking to Doc Duba. What happened, Doc? All righty then. Yes, we are having some technical difficulties, but we're keeping it on and we're keeping it going. I don't know what happened to Dr. Nupa. Connections were down, but we're gonna bring Charlene in. That she's finally got it on. Yo, it is what it is today, y'all. It's Thursday. It is what it is, and it
Yes,
is what it is.
yes.
That's it. So what's up, Charlene? What's up, my homie, my hostess? What's going on?
What's
There's
going on,
Dr. Nupa.
everybody?
All right, all right, all right. They don't want us to get.
I
They don't
can't
want us to
see
get this
anybody
this
now.
this burnout. Can you see us?
Can you see us?
I can't see you at all. Can you see?
Yes, we see
Yes.
you.
I
You
would
can
say
see
go
me. Oh
out
no.
and come back in. I
Yes,
would
we can
say
see
go
you.
out and come back
No?
in to see if you can see us.
Okay. Oh,
Yes, the
Yes, Gabe.
did
joys
that
The
work?
of the
joy.
live
Yes.
streaming.
You're
Oh
absolutely
my
right about that, Gabe.
goodness me. I just it's a little bit laggy, but as long as you can hear me and see me, I guess we're okay.
But can you hear and see us? Yeah, I think the connection is going in and out for her. Just like mine. My Wi-Fi router decided to die out and act up. So but we're back on. So while we try to get Dr. Nupi back, or caller, you talking to her on the back end?
Yeah, I was trying to, but hey, y'all, I didn't want to be disruptive. So I didn't want to be disruptive. I'm trying to do 4, 5 things. It is amazing the eyes of a producer since I
I
got,
tell you,
Gabe in there. I'm
that's
looking
why I
back here
said.
and I'm looking because Charlene normally produces the show, right? This is how it
That's why
goes.
y'all
So
see I'm stressed. I don't always talk a
yeah,
lot because I'm
yeah,
producing.
yeah, yeah. So this is what you don't really get about the live streaming. If we could do a little impromptu of that. The live streaming, it is just that. It's live, whatever goes on, stays on. And I got a lot of live streamers that's in the comments as well. So when I'm on, the joy of doing it with a team is that Charlene produces, right? Videos, comments, all that, right? I don't have to worry about that. So I go in and I talk and then I do my side dipping in comments, saying things, answering questions in the comments. So I don't really worry about that. But today I had to flip it. I'm trying to produce, and I'm not a restreamer, so I'm trying to figure out how to play the video, all that thing. Hey, I'm vulnerable, so I'll tell you about it. It don't make me no less than. I'm trying to figure out the video. I'm trying to click.
I
At one
tell
point in time,
you.
I click all kind of stuff. I'm trying to show comments. It is what it is. See, we almost getting to burnout now, but we trying to get to balance. We trying to get to a balance. We trying to get to a balance. Dr. Nupa is joining us
Exactly.
from. She's joining us from Manchester, so it's a few hours difference over there. I think it's sometime in the afternoon over there. She did have a beautiful bright setup, and that's what it is, right? Her Wi-Fi
Mhm.
has started kicking her around as well, so that's what it is. But we talking about burnout, and me and Charlene can talk about burnout because she just we
Yeah, we
got
can
burnt
hold
out
it
this
down
morning.
while we get that while she allow her to get that together. And
Yes.
burnout, I always tell you, for me with burnout, I shut down. And that's my protection
Okay.
mechanism, is that I already know, like, nope, I don't want any more information. I don't want any more conversations. I'm not seeing anybody. We have a good day. I'm totally shutting down. That's how I deal with that, to give myself time to not be burnt out. And sometimes it sneaks up on me. I know 2020 snuck up on me hard. And how did I know? Okay, something's off. I was snapping at everybody. My boss, my boss's boss. I was snapping at people. I wasn't answering emails. I was like, delete. And they were like, "Did you get this email? You sent me an email." It
Yeah.
Because it was, to me, it was just too much. It was too much. And finally, when I started saying it, I think it was not even the point that I was finally saying it. It was aloud, because at one point you couldn't go to work and say you giving me too much work, or you doing too much, or you sending me too much things, because then they look at you like you can't handle it, right? You can't hang. You can't. You can't. You're not made for this. You're not cut out for this. Um, and then I think towards the end of 2020, with a lot of people being let go, some people just refusing to take on the extra work of those who are no longer in the office. Um, a lot of the C-suite folks started to say, "Well, I guess we need to start listening." So please tell us if you're stressed out, and all of that stuff. And it also became a movement, to say how you felt, to say that you were stressed. So yeah, for me, I think that's when I was able to actually say, I'm stressed out. I need a break. And I think that's when they also introduced in 2021, maybe, or I want to say late 2020, they introduced the I forgot what it's technically called, but it's like it's like just time off, like a personal time off, but it's a day of rest for everybody in the company. And they made it something official that most companies give their employees. It's considered a company holiday of sorts, where everybody just has a day of rest, a day of break, and you just don't log on. It's like a regular it's like a Christmas or religious or something holiday. So I think a lot of those started to come into play. But yeah, I just started to yeah, tell people I'm not doing it.
Oh wow. Okay. Well, yeah. Please remind me not to be in your presence on the breakdown of that. I kind of like go into, and I think a lot of that is really from my military The burnout to me never, and even with me being vulnerable and being able to say that, I normally get ahead of things, and that's how I've pretty much been. I normally try to diffuse what's about to happen. So when someone gets this collective of maybe trying to embarrass, maybe trying to, play me, so to speak, as they say out in the streets, maybe trying to pull those cards out from under me, I try to get in front of it, just like I did here. I can play like I know what I'm doing, super producer. I'm not unlike Russ and Gabe and all of these other ones, that produce like that, right? Even as long as we've been doing it, haven't been doing it to that effect of that thing. But what you try to do, and I guess in the essence of me being burned out, I try to get in front of what is causing that. And a lot of times it's just a deep, it's a taking a breath thing. And I've dealt with a lot of, even in clients that I talk to, some of them are at that verge and they go into, oh God, it's a calamity. What can I do now? What about, or some just like, I'm not talking about it. I'm not fooling with it. I'm not dealing with it. And all of us have those different ways of which we interact with it and ways that we deal with it. But the most healthiest way that I found to deal with it is to talk through it, kind of talk through it where you show that you're in some kind of control of what it is. And though on the big scheme of things, or maybe even the big picture of things, you may not be, but breathing, exhaling, inhaling, going through what you can actually control, what is actually within your control, being able to do those things bring a semblance to saying, okay, this is what it is. So how can I get through this with the least amount of resistance, the least amount of distraction, and the least amount of even upsetting those who have no idea what you're going to. They are unaware of what you're really physically feeling. They're unaware of what you're really going through at that moment. And a lot of times when we put that outward on, such as maybe the yelling, maybe the shortness with people, maybe the snappiness with people, a lot of times that can be taken the wrong way, and it can escalate to other things that was really not the root of what was going on. So a lot of times when those things come upon me, I just kind of breathe, and I go into this breathe phrase of where, okay, what's really happening? Okay, what is really happening? Okay, this is went down the Wi-Fi. I don't own Wi-Fi, so nothing I can do about it. Okay, how can I come around the places to say effectively? Maybe I can talk from a black screen. Maybe someone can hear my voice and they can't see the picture. May I start putting those kind of things in my mind to kind of, I wouldn't say rationale, but to kind of put me in a place of ease of saying, well, yeah, dude, you just got to kind of work this out. And this is how life treats us as well. And these are situations and circumstances where it trains us to be better prepared and equipped for the next thing to come up on. And then not only that, it gives us something to teach someone else. So when someone else
Mhm.
you know go through, or someone in your circle, or someone that you meet, or a client that you're dealing with, or a potential client that may want to use your services, when they
Right.
see the grit, or when they see the tenacity, or they see the calm or the wherewithal that you've taken in a bad situation, there's a confidence and a credibility built there to say, okay, I can kind of see how they go through the eye of the storm with the problems I'm going to give them. So it's all about working that out, and it's all about trying to figure that out.
And as we're doing that, I see Dr. Nupi in the chat. I see her
Yes, Dr.
with strong signals. So Dr. Nupi, I'm gonna bring you on.
Okay, all
Turn
right.
on your camera. I see
Charlene's
a
back in
black
charge now.
screen. I see a black screen, but if we can hear your voice, something, that's why I'm gonna put you on the screen just to see what's going on. Can we hear you? I'm not sure. um. Okay, so I'm gonna take her off, and then we're gonna wait to see because I want to see if I can see her in the back. I don't see her yet, but yeah. So if Dr. Nupi's in the backstage, please, Dr. Nupi, calling Dr. Nupi. But yes, all you guys are dropping so much amazing comments in the back or in the chat. And and I love what Yolanda was saying because I always say it, and I just said it in another meeting. It's always important to show. I feel like there should be a limit, right? There's a limit of how much grace you show. Really, especially if you claim to be spiritual, you claim to be religious. Did God give you that limit? Because if that was the case, He wouldn't even be looking at you today. Let's just keep it real talk. Right? So why as humans are we always ready to cut somebody off at the knees without giving grace? If they're having symptoms of burnout at this stage, we know that already. We know certain things to look out for. And especially if we are people who are always asking for that and are always ready to have a talk about it, then why are we not ready to do that for others? I was just about to bring Dr. Nupi. Okay, I see her now. Okay, we're bringing her on. Hello, we see you. All right.
Doctor, give me the
So,
news.
yes, because she was in the chat and then now she's on back on the show. So perfect. So, and this is your specialty to helping others with finding the balance out of burnout. So, are you okay?
Can you hear me, Doc? Can you hear us, Doc?
We can't hear you. You might
Can't
be
hear you. Are you on mute?
connecting your
Or connect the audio?
yeah.
Yes, and Doctor put in there. I'm on the same level with her. She said, "Me too." She got to pause, got to take stock, got to breathe.
Yes.
Keep in mind your response. I think we don't. I don't think that we're critical enough, if I can use that term. I don't think we're critical enough to understand our reaction when we're in those moments to people that we're engaging with. Oh, bless you, bless you. And I don't think that we get how important that is in the essence of our interaction with each other. Uh, a lot of things change dramatically upon the reaction that we receive from each other. I talk a lot about invulnerability being the receiver and the sender, and a lot of times those connections have to be on point
Right.
for the simple fact that it's to continuing in a growing and developing relationship. If I have a relationship with you that I know that if I send out my, just for lack of a better term, my sender vibrations, my sender vulnerability vibrations, and I know that you've been one that received them in the end, our connection and our conversation and our relationship is so much better. But then when you have those interactions of where I sent out to be vulnerable to you, and you stomp on that, that brings about not a balance, that brings about a clamming up on my part
Mm.
because I don't see that you and I are interacting on the same thing. Rob said it and made a great point there. You have to beware of people who don't exercise grace with others. And I think Charlene was talking about that. That can be dangerous, and they are dangerous, especially.
Yes.
I think it's a script, not I think I know it's a scripture in the Bible where I think when it says something about do I forgive? How often do I forgive my brother? And Jesus says 70 times seven. And he wasn't saying that for you to do the math. He was just saying that it's just endless things. If you want to be forgiven, you have to forgive. And if you want to
Right.
have grace, if you want people to show you grace, you've got to show grace. It's a give and take kind of thing. And you can't just suck up all the grace and ain't giving none to nobody.
Yep.
You can't suck it all up. But yes, we thank all of y'all for tuning in. I got this opportunity now to say we thank all y'all for tuning in. For those who tuned in earlier, internet was what it was. It is what it is. We still doing it. We getting Dr. Nupa on with us, especially. We already know we're gonna do part two with that because he's going in and out, and we
Can I just say it's like a full circle because in our first show,
Mhm.
our first guest, it was the same thing in a sense, right? Because
Yes,
we were trying hard, and we had to bring. That's how we started part twos, y'all. If you really want to know, honestly, that's how we started part
yes, that
two because
was our very
of
first
the
guest.
internet.
Yes,
The technology was just bugging out.
yes.
Connections were just going crazy. So, we're not gonna let burnout stress us, and we're not gonna let tech stress us either.
No, we not stressing. We not stressing none. And the burnout is real. But you guys know in the essence of
Yes,
who we are. Me and Charlene, we talk now. We can have a conversation about anything and everything. So it's one of those. It's one of those kind of things. If you want, drop in the chat. This is an opportunity for us to engage with you guys as well. That we always do, and we love. We love the engagement that we have. We love you guys
mhm.
participating in the chat as well. You can't be sucking up all that grace. Absolutely, Thank you, Yolanda, for chiming in. And she out there on the West Coast. It's real early out there, y'all. She gets up with us on Tuesdays and Thursdays and chime in. So I got to give people their flowers where I
Yes.
can. So that's an opportunity for her to shine. Shannon, Marcello, thank you, buddy. We got to get you on too, Marcello. Marcello's a smooth dude. You guys don't know him on LinkedIn wrong. You don't know Marcello. Marcello's a smooth guy. So we got to
Hey.
definitely get him on too. Can you hear? There we
Yeah.
hear. All right, all right.
I heard
Everybody in
a
the
hey.
chat. Everybody in the chat.
I
Give her
heard a
applause. Give
hey.
a round of applause in the chat for
Applause.
Dr.
We
Nupi.
made it.
Yes.
Oh, Dr. Nupi, come on and tell us a little bit of something here. We talking about this. We're talking about this burnout. This from burnout to balance. Give us
Okay.
some. Give us some on this. Give us something on this.
I'm
Yes.
burning right now. I am boiling and I'm like burning out physically.
I tell you, that worked.
Woo. Okay, so I was trying to keep going with the chats in the comments. Like, oh my gosh,
And you
I
did a
couldn't see
great
all.
job, because that's why I
Oh,
was like, okay, she's still
thanks.
here.
I was, but I couldn't come back on. Right. Okay. So, what would you like me to talk about with regards to burnout? I don't know where we're at
Talk
now.
about. We got a prime example right now. Talk about the
Okay.
burnout feeling that we've just felt from trying to get this show.
So, it's the overwhelm, it's the stress, and it's the okay. So, what's normal and what's a healthy amount of when you're in a situation perhaps that's unexpected or you're not prepared for it, but it's how I guess it's how you handle you in that moment of time. And your body's response is, everything starts to fire off because you can feel this, okay, getting ready for something. And your body responds normally to these hormones that go through your system. However, if you are in a chronic state of overwhelm and stress, this is where it becomes harmful to your body. And how do we know this? It's very much the long-term effect. So burnout isn't something that is, it doesn't happen in a day or a night. This is something that will be insidious. It creeps up on you. And it's being aware of those softer signs where you're probably on the slippery slope, and it's that frazzle. It's the frazzle feeling of, oh, everything's just too much, but you try and push through, and you adopt coping mechanisms to push through and to keep doing and to keep going. Actually, all you're doing is almost ignoring signs and symptoms in yourself, and very commonly it's an exhaustion that is no amount of sleep, no amount of sleep makes you more refreshed. You're concentrating. It's like you're going through treacle. Fatigue, not just it's bone achingly tired, numbingly tired, aches and pains in the body, headaches, stomach aches. So these are the things. This is how your body starts responding to chronic overwhelming stress, but then it's actually how you're feeling. It's anxiety. And yes, you can have anxiousness, panicky feeling, fear-based emotions essentially, and then overwhelm and doubt. And this is what I call the critter chatter in your head. And actually when that starts taking over, you can't sort of see wood for trees. And I think it's being aware that it's nothing to be ashamed of as well. It is what it is. Everybody has been under so much pressure and strain through the pandemic, and even now in certain professions for sure. And this is so important to be able to speak up about it, and people go, "Oh my gosh, that's me." Okay, speak up, reach out, ask for help, and that's the key thing.
I love that, because I think the asking for help part stumps a lot of us. I know
Yes.
it was for me, because it felt a mix of showing weakness,
Yeah.
and Carl be like, nope, nope, that's not true. But that's how it felt, and that's how a lot of times we were hardwired to believe that if you're asking for help, how much is too much? Because then now, are
Yeah.
you a person who's always asking for help? Are you somebody who can be depicted as you can never do for self because you always need somebody? But
Yeah.
my mom always gave me that parable of no man is an island, and you have to have others around you, support something.
Yes.
And a lot of times that is your village. I always say with my friends, we are each other's village. We've been around each other for almost 30 years, some of us over 30 years. So you kind of, we grew up in a sense together. So how more can you, like, what else can you do? Like, what's an example of us asking for help that may not look needy?
You know what? It is showing up with vulnerability, and it's not necessarily even asking for help per se. It's sharing perhaps your feeling, particularly, not just sort of, so somebody asking you, hi, how are you? I'm okay. And inside, you're anything but okay. So it's when you catch yourself going, I'm okay. I'm okay. And you're trying to convince yourself you are, I guess. And it's really to do that though, you have to be in tune with you, with yourself. The brain and the mind is so clever. It can trick you to thinking, yeah, of course I'm okay. Yeah, I'll just push through. Yeah, this is my norm. And I would always say, really? Stop and query. How are you feeling in your mind, in your body, in your soul? How do you feel? And if the answer is, I feel bloody great. Yeah. Great, grand. I'm delighted for you. If it's I'm okay, I guess. I'm okay, but, or it's kind of like, oh, I don't really know. These are obvious clues. Okay, something's not right here. So let's just dig a little bit deeper. Okay, so my okay and your okay might be completely different. I'm not settling for okay for my patients or people who I care for. I'm like, no, okay is not actually okay. You need to have your own, what I call my physessence, filled to the max to overflowing. Then I'll accept, yeah, you are you with bells on. And because if you're not, you're literally constantly giving to everybody else but yourself. You get depleted, and you don't even know you're depleted until perhaps it's too late. So it's noticing, yeah, you know what? I don't feel okay. I feel sad. Is it a constant sadness? Is I feel stressed? Okay, what's causing the stress? And it's applying very much, I guess, a coaching mentality to what that emotion is. So it's acknowledging it, it's accepting it, and then being curious enough for yourself, and then, trusting somebody going, you know what, I'm just feeling absolutely shattered. How are you? Are you feeling like this? Yeah, the workload's ridiculous at the minute. Okay, what can we do therefore to help each other? It's going to be more productive than, I can't say anything because you know what, they're going to think I'm weak, I'm not pulling my weight. And you spin cycle. You actually create your own story in your head. And I think that's key. So it really starts with your own self-awareness, which is really hard when you're in the throes of day in, day out, Groundhog Day, constantly the same. And all of a sudden it's very robotic almost. But that in itself is, again, another signal. Are you on autopilot, or are you truly awake, living and breathing and noticing, oh my gosh, I just saw a butterfly just then. Oh, wow. And, I'm not saying go away in the fairyland, but how awake are you? And that's the key. That is really the key.
Now we talk
Bless you,
about,
Shawn.
yes, we talk about. I was trying to hit my mute, but the sneeze was faster. The sneeze was faster. Look, I mean, I'm loving that we're having this conversation. I really, actually, today has been one of the most fun shows that we've had. I normally have fun on my show, but I think just this sporadic, spontaneous, just like combustion of all these things
If
that I
y'all
can't
remember
handle.
Benny Hill, it felt like a
Yeah,
Benny Hill
it's kind of like,
moment.
it's kind of like, the satire, the stage, trying to throw it together, trying to put the skit together. Man, I really had fun.
1
This
minute
past,
she's
we
there,
only been
1
talking
minute
30
she's
minutes, and I've
gone.
had fun. When we talk
I'm there
about
in the
this,
chat. I'm there in
yes,
the
in the chat, I'm in
background.
the
Oh
chat, I'm
my
doing it all.
God. I'm here. Don't worry. Don't worry. I'm still here.
Oh man.
Gosh.
And I know, like, normally we're on until 11, so I definitely want to respect the audience with the time on that.
Yeah.
So because we're going to do a part 2, I think we should do one sooner rather than later. So
Yes.
we'll definitely set that up so we can get you on the calendar.
Yeah, we're gonna do a
Maybe have
special
like a
event.
special day. I
Yeah,
think we
special
can have a
edition. Because
Oh,
yeah, because
bless
yeah,
we are booked out, and of course, y'all know my
Yeah.
traveling partner. He's ditching me for a couple of days, so we'll be doing replays, and the replay shows actually worked out well. So we're gonna be doing some more replay shows.
yes, the
But yeah,
replay
I always
shows were
get
good
ditched.
because you don't have me
I'm
trying to
I'm the
produce.
I'm the dance partner who gets ditched by my. But no, like but real talk, I love that Carl's doing this thing, so people want to see him in person now.
Yeah.
So with that, we're definitely going to bring you back on. What I do want people to know is how can they not only connect with you but work with you, and what do you do when by the time they've done working with you, how do they leave you saying, yes, I need glitter in my life, and so do you?
Yeah, talk
What
about
what,
that
what do you
glitter
do?
now.
Talk
Talk,
about this.
you gave me that
Oh,
backstage story about that glitter. Talk about
And
that
talk
that
about your
okay.
glitter.
show too. Yes.
Yes.
Okay. Oh, bless you. Thank you, guys. So the glitter is all about, well, three reasons really. It's the way I can tune in and sense people's needs, and this is a combination of my being in tune with myself and my patients' or clients' needs, and holding space, even if it's just for a few minutes of teaching somebody the breath work that I go through in how to keep your mind, body, and spirit in balance. Doesn't take long. It takes less than a couple of minutes, and it feels like 20 minutes. And when my patient, I hold space, grab their hands and just do what I do. And when when they open their eyes, oh my goodness, I can see what's wrong when somebody comes into the room, and I can read it in their eyes and I can feel it. And then you take the medical history and you put pieces together. But when I've done this holding space bit and they open their eyes and the light I literally can see this, their inner light. That's what I call it's physsessence. It's the unique essence of you. And you start seeing that. And the patient or client might not know, oh my God, what the hell had just happened there? But they feel it. That's the glitter. That is the magic and the sparkle, because it's so possible. And when I see that coming back in their eyes, I'm just like, oh my God, I love what I do, because you know what? I've just shown you how this is possible and you're feeling better. It's that I can see. And actually it's that energy, the glitter, the spark, the light coming back on. And that's how patients receive. And they actually have said, coming in your room, we can feel it. I can feel something special and it's all sparkly, or I feel sparkly having spoken to you, or whatever. And it's the way you sprinkle glitter with your words, is what somebody said. And he actually said, and this is a proper gangster dude who'd come from a really troubled background and never really had faith in the medical system. He'd been really let down by social care, all of these things. And, he was not good. He was really not good. And he'd never seen a doctor speak the way I speak, but I'm like, I won't this morning. But he was like, oh my God, it's effing and jeffing. And I'm like, it's all right. Sit down, calm down. It's fine. I've got you. You're here. You're safe here. And just talked. It's more than just talking. It's skilled chat. But he sort of looked at me and he said, I've never.
Uh-oh.
Oh.
As soon as she gets to talking about this patient's
Yeah.
glitter,
And
hold
then
on, Dr. P, because
hold
we're
that
losing
thought.
you.
Hold
Hold
that
that
thought.
thought. We're losing you for a second. I don't want to lose you. And because we also have one more question, so I'm like,
Yeah,
but
right.
if you can hear us, I want to make sure that we get Will's question in there. He wants to know one piece of advice you would give someone who feels they have reached the end of their rope. Because I know a lot of us have had that feeling. So can you, okay, say something. We see if we can hear you.
Can you hear us, Doc? Oh,
Oh man, she can't hear
uh,
us.
the
Okay.
internet, the Wi-Fi. I'm blaming all of the technology gods today. they are they are on a rampage. Oh, they are on a rampage. We're gonna sell this. Will what we can do and what we don't have, what we do have control over. At the bottom of this thing, the ticker. You could connect with
Okay.
Dr. Nupi. Can
Yes,
you
go
hear?
ahead, Carl. Go. No, she
Oh, okay.
cannot hear or
You
see
cannot
us.
hear. Okay. You can connect with Dr. Nupi on LinkedIn. We got her stuff scrolling at the bottom of the ticker. You can also DM her and connect with her. And you can go in her sessions with her and learn some of the awesomeness of who she is, that glitter. She talked about it. See, I got the full story about the roughneck, the gangster guy who talked about that. That was pretty. I ain't gonna tell the rest of it, but that was pretty impressive. Uh, with what was going on there. So it's definitely something that you're going to want to hear. And absolutely, Yolanda, it has been real talk today. But
Man,
definitely,
man.
but go connect
So
with her.
what we will be doing is connecting with Dr. Nupi. We're
Yes,
gonna make sure she jumps in the chat to answer Will's question, so you all can see that in the chat. And I would love when she comes back. Let's attack this. Yeah, let's attack this
yes,
conversation, but from the C-suiters, from the corporate side, because Will
absolutely.
was dropping some things too, that a lot of this training is from a corporate side, a corporate level, but I think it's also deeper. It's cultural. And I know that a lot of times we tend to forget that even if we're in a large corporation, the core of that corporation is always based on those people who is running it, their cultural experience, their inner person or piece or whatever that may be, because then you can see how a lot of chaos plays out, how a lot of secretive things happen, because the people at the helm, that's how they roll. So it's always a good thing to look at a company, pay attention to a company, and listen. Like, you can see a company do mouth conversations and taking action. And then if you're able to get close enough to the leaders, and a lot of times I think that's what we're losing because we're remote. We don't get to see the leaders really live and in person and see how they move and operate. But that's what we used to have when we were all in the office. We could see the leaders. We saw their cliques. We saw when they went to their secret bars and stuff after work, and went to their events. And they gave you your Christmas party over here, but they had the real party over there. So you get to see how they really rock, and if they're really building a culture that they believe in, or a culture that they think is going to appease the masses, and then they don't buy it. So that's why a lot of things don't really trickle down. So I would love us to have that conversation, and we're going to book this part two on a special day and definitely get that out so you guys can plan for it. And if you're on your summer vacation, take us with you, listen to us so
Yes.
you can hear the conversations.
Definitely. You can definitely hear the conversation and you can definitely join in the party. And we've been invited on the podcast because my man Will say he
I
wants to
saw
have
that
us both
too.
on. So Will, we are fortunately or unfortunately, depending on how you look at it. We are we are a twosome. We are that, but no, I get joy every single day of working with Charlene, even though we interact in some form or fashion throughout the day, whether it's a call, a text, a telegram, some kind of thing, some kind of fashion that we do. And it's a fantastic relationship that we've garnered. And we are enjoying bringing even you guys along for our journey because this is what it is. It's our experience as well. We're experience and love that we get from you guys and the interaction that we get to have an amazing guest on like Dr. Nupi and others that have been on before her. And we just really I can't say that I'm shocked because when I started this, there was an end in mind, and we haven't reached that, but we well way ahead of where I thought we would be. But I can't say that I'm shocked in that, but I am pleasantly surprised at how the tremendous showing and outshowing of love have been toward me and Charlene since we started this endeavor, even with our sitcom kickoff, so to speak. We didn't get, so now we did a kickoff from our, the Good Times and Jeffersons, all them kicked off from other stuff, right? So we even kicked off our credible vulnerability moments from this show, doing
Yes.
that, and it gives us an opportunity to showcase our SME, subject matter expertise, in what we know and what we do, to give you guys more value, sharing it with you guys, sharing it with y'all, ramping up to something special, because we got a lot of stuff cooking on the background, and I can't wait till that fire is started so we can offer you guys even more. But we love you guys. We love the support. Dr. Nupi, we love you as well.
Yes.
Part two, we got to do. Part two, we got to do. We're going to give you a special edition. We're going to put like the,
Yes.
the news, breaking news, special edition. We're going to put all those kind of banners up, because we got to do a part two for you. So you can talk about the C-suite, because that's where I like to dive into, because they are the creators of this burnout, especially on the corporate playing field. They are the creators of that, of putting people in places and vices of where they're just so stressed to meet bottom lines, to get reports, to get things done. And they're just really, because I want to hit on excuse me, I want to hit on that balance as well, because it's dangerous. It's a dangerous term. When I put that in there, I wanted that to be highlighted, because we think about so much work-life balance and how do we get a balance? Can we ever reach a balance? Can we ever get to that where we say, okay, we're balanced living, we're balanced with our lives and work, we're balanced with our families, our aspirations? Do we ever get to that balance, or is it always teetering? But I love to hear Dr. Nupi talk about some of that as well. So that's
Yes.
awesome.
So as we chime out, I want to definitely make sure you guys check out our sponsors, and all the questions that are being dropped. We're making sure that Dr. Nupi is connected so she can get that conversation. And what I would love us to do as well is take those questions and put them for part two, so she can answer
Yes.
them live also. So
Yes.
make sure that you guys check out our sponsors. Make sure that you are connected to Dr. Nupi and us, so you know when we're coming
Thanks,
back.
Rose.
And we are so excited. We cannot wait to see you guys on other podcasts, on in live, in person, wherever we can meet. So make sure that you guys check us out. And till next time, peace.
Peace. Deuces.
Talk with Carl and Charlene. Real talk for the real world. Let's get it. Real talk with Carl and Charlene. Real talk for the real world. Let's get it.